He's here, and the worst of the storm is starting to work in right now. Let me show you live pinpoint Doppler 12 radar. This is a 12-hour loop, and some of these darker blues that are working in right now, indicating some of the real heavy snow. Still to the north and west of Providence, it's on the light side out towards Springfield and Hartford, but moderate to heavy bands of snow starting to work in off the ocean. We actually call this banding on the radar. That's an indication of some pretty heavy snow. These are live pictures from Narragansett, and the snow piling up now is picking up several inches, at least 3 inches down in Narragansett. We've seen winds now gusting in some cases along the coastline up to 40, close to 50 miles per hour. That's the other thing that'll be ramping up over the next several hours, the wind. So it'll be a wind-blown, heavy snow, reduced visibility, and with the excessive snow amounts for later tonight into tomorrow, along with the strong winds, we do expect some isolated power outages. So heavy snow now through Tuesday, winds increasing at least in gusts between 40 and 60 miles per hour, blowing and drifting of snow, power outages later tonight, and obviously very difficult travel. Still going with, on average, 18 to 24. I feel fairly confident of it, at least attaining 18 inches, and whether or not some of these heavier bands can produce 24 or higher remains to be seen, but that possibility is certainly there, at least in a localized fashion. So bottom line, a lot of snow. Here's kind of a rough guesstimate, hour-by-hour breakdown. By 11 o'clock this evening, up to 5-6 inches of snow. 2 in the morning, looking at 11 inches, 5 a.m., 14, and we get into tomorrow morning for the height of the storm and the snow and the wind. We'll be looking at amounts that will be closing in on 20 inches of snow. So it's a long-duration storm. It'll be slowing down. Actually have the camera running in our weather yard at our studios in East Providence. We actually have a time-lapse going with this yardstick, so this will be pretty interesting to play come tomorrow as we see the snow pile up. Right now, it just looks like a couple of inches in the weather yard. But notice the wind speeds. Nantucket for close to 50, including Block Island. I mean, inland wind speeds are not quite as strong, but it's still blowing pretty hard nonetheless. But these speeds, especially along the coastline, are really increased. The blizzard warning is in effect until about midnight tomorrow night, or 1 o'clock on Wednesday morning. Moderate to major coastal flooding is confined to east coastal Massachusetts, that area in light green, and maybe some pretty significant flooding. Fortunately for the Rhode Island coastline, it's only a coastal flood advisory. High tide just after midnight tonight. Maybe some minor coastal flooding and beach erosion, but the bigger concern is across east coastal Massachusetts. Look at the precipitation expanding on Doppler radar. The coverage is growing in size. This is an intensifying storm system. We're seeing lightning strikes now offshore. That's another tip-off that the storm is getting stronger. And take a look at the wind gusts. TJ had talked about this last night about potential hurricane force, at least gusts out across the Outer Cape and Islands, and further inland, including most of Rhode Island, especially near the coastline, gusts between 50 and 60. And the wind speeds taper off a little bit, but still significant to our north and west. It's going to blow and drift the snow around quite a bit, so this will pretty much be the picture overnight and right on through tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. As the governor had mentioned, there's a travel ban mandatory that starts at midnight tonight. We're doing live updates on Channel 12 Eyewitness News. Next one, I believe, is at 9 o'clock, and then we'll have full coverage later on afterwards on Fox Providence and on Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock. Another update coming up in a little bit.